Hello everybody, it's me. Today we got a new little pottery video for you today. And today is kind of interesting. First I'm gonna tilt my video camera this way. I'm gonna full screen. There you go, you guys can see my little setup here. But, with the blue cable right now. I still don't know why sometimes it goes, I'm getting like some green feedback. Sometimes, oh wait, hold on. Well, we can go like this for now. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pick up, I got a ball of clay here. I'm gonna wrap this around the back of my head. I've found that that's usually the best way to go about doing this. Wow, so I don't have a wire tool or a oh shit. You know, you gotta just use what we have. Wow, that's really upsetting. Yeah. Whatever. We'll see if I can make this work. The reason I'm missing some tools today, right? Which is also like a cool reason, but I'm missing some tools. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, it's so weird. I was wondering, I thought I didn't bring it with me because today I had my classes. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I was like literally, I was so pissed off. I was contemplating whether to restart the video or not, right? I do want to bring this in a little bit closer if I can. Alright, that's probably as good as I'm going to get. Okay. Well, I'm going to start here. Oh, wow, it's king. Oh, I'm not wearing my green shirt. Do I have a green shirt down here? No. I'm sorry, guys. Well. Alright, I gotta get the green shirt. Hold on. I'm gonna pause. Wow, this thing shrunk a little bit. Well, that's okay. Maybe if it's a little bit tighter, it's better anyway. There. I have to like nod my head when I want to do it. Well, I think I gotta reduce how harsh the lighting is on my arm. Literally, my arms are like almost see-through. They're like ghost arms. But it's whatever. Okay, so we're gonna start throwing here. But like I was saying before I left, I had classes today. I had my morning class, and then right now in between, I would normally have an hour to get to. I have to drive somewhere else for an open studio, and then I have like the kids class, and then after that I have the adult class at the end of the night, you know. And so normally I'm thinking when I'm doing that sort of stuff, I'm like I'd be already there right now, right? But this week I don't have the open studio, so I get to chill out here, and so I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to do a video tonight, so I got to make sure I do it now. But here we go, and then we're gonna what is it called? Show you guys. Sometimes I wish I could like zoom in here. I think, oh, you know what I could do? I actually think I can do a better job doing this. Well, also, I'm not really paying attention. But I had a bunch of new throwers, and that was really cool. I think almost all of them made something, right? And so I'm just sort of taking them through the process. And you know, one thing I'm getting so good at is like looking at somebody, right? And look what they're doing with their hands, and then getting to sort of show them right? Like the problem that they're facing, right? So for example, you have a student who their fingers, right? Here, hold on. Now we go. Their fingers, they're pushing, one's pushing this way, and they're doing their knuckle over here, so it's totally off, right? Where they need to be more like over one on top of the other, right? And so I've been being able to see those moments and sort of address them and tell them. It's always people get in these like moods with ceramics where they just start flying. We got a lot of Ferraris in that group, right? And so it's okay to have like some people who are doing the Ferrari stuff, but I think that you want to go like, I keep telling them, think like minivan going to soccer practice, you know, early. Like you're an early soccer practice, not late, so you're not rushing, right? You're just going very slow. And then that's how I try to tell them the speed that they're going, right? Because sometimes if you're going too fast, you might not even know what speed or what your hands are even doing, right? You want to be in a sort of a zone in which you are taking your time and you know exactly what your hands are doing when you're pressing on the clay. Some people, I think, really struggle, right, with that sort of phase in ceramics. And it's a little bit unfortunate, right? Because I think it frustrates them, and so then they speed up even faster and faster and faster, when in actuality they just need to just take a breath, slow down, and then really examine like what your fingers are doing, you know? And I think a lot of people like the way I talk about ceramics, you know? They're saying stuff like, I always talk about like the bird of prey swooping up against the wall, and I call like this chunk, I can't remember if a teacher of mine told me it was called the chicken wing, but I thought it was kind of funny, so I'm going to call it the chicken wing from now on, right? We're going to actually get some of the... Oh no, did it fall? It did. Come on, get over here. There we go. Get some of the water out of the inside here. And so I started I call it the chicken wing, and I'm like, you know, you always want to activate your chicken wing. Activate the chicken wing. And I'm like, you want to bring the hammer? You know, like I always call it fist the hammer. Bring the hammer down on top of the chicken wing. And I just think about it for a second. I can't help but laugh. Like, if somebody was to like randomly walk in and be like, just listen to what I'm talking about, they wouldn't even know that it's ceramics, right? There we go. Alright, well, we kind of did a bad job there, but we will work with it, right? Alright. I just want to make sure see if we can fix that. Yep, there we go. I'm going to make sure my finger's kind of poked up underneath here. I should have waited to do that until later, but it's okay. Look at that, guys. Yo, and then check out the inside. Dude, that shit is just insane looking. Alright, so now we're gonna just hang out over here, and then we're just gonna pop these up. Some of them will tear. That's okay. And we'll leave that one a little bit wider, that's fine. Then go back up underneath here. Get on that pot. Have a nice little background there. Alright, guys. And then here's pot number 1. Oh. Sweet. Okay. I'm right in the background right now is a Skyrim background. You know, looks like it's in some dungeon, and now we're at. Oh, this is a really cool place in the game. There's these scenes. Whoa, look at that. That actually looks insane that it's almost clear like that. I still think I need to figure out the whole keying things out. At least now, like the shadow, like you don't see like the shadow, right? I upped it up, but you can see through my arms in some places. I'm thinking it's just too harsh of a light. And so I think I just need to change my light sensitivity a little bit. But I'm pretty sure I can edit all this stuff in the thing, but I just haven't had the time to sit down with it other than just make the videos. So I'm going to do that for a little bit here until I figure it out. But anyway, in this Skyrim background that you're looking right now, this is underground, right? There's a dungeon, and then underneath this dungeon, right? And well, first I should say, in the dungeon, there was these like old dwarven like dudes who were like really scientific, but they kind of look like they were inspired by the industrial era or something, right? They're like all pipes and electronics. Dang, it already switched, so I can't talk about it. But there's a dungeon, and then on the outside or on the inside of this fallen apart, dilapidated dungeon, it opens up into this giant underground cavern with all these glowing mushrooms and like insect animals and like almost like these goblin creatures. It's really, really cool. Just because like it's like one of those things that when you're doing it, it sort of explodes your mind when you go into a small little like entrance, and then right when you think you're at the end of something, then it's like it one-ups your expectations by showing you this giant cavern, right? Some games are really notoriously good at that. I think another game more recent game that does a good job with that is Elden Ring. Elden Ring does a really good job with that sort of line of thinking. Going up underneath here. Oh, look at that. Casting a spell. Clay manipulation. That's so cringe. Alright, we'll do some of this for a little bit. But let's see my hands taking that clay up there. Great, that's what we like to see. That is what we like to see. But the chicken wing's activating here with that fist right on the top and slowly pushing that on center, right? Clay just like wants to sit down right in there. Open that up. Fill the pond. You don't want those tadpoles to dry out. Pull that out ever so slightly. Look at that. Go back in, compress, and get like a nice little pattern. Well, first we'll get it all even. Then we'll go back, get our pattern. Then we're going to come up. And that's when we start our pull here. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Up underneath. Get over here with your knuckle. Feed it up, feed it up, feed it up, feed it up, feed it up. Slow, so then you can align it properly. If you go too fast, you might skip over something and have a chunk that sort of juts out in a weird, awkward area. And so there we go. Well, you know what? Maybe that would have been good if it was the opposite way. Shit. Whatever. And then I'm going to go down again. I'm pushing down here, right? So if you see, I'm pushing down. And I'm slowly taking that up. And then if you look, you can see me taking that little bead or that ring. That's all I'm doing. Is I'm just carrying up the side of clay. At the top, I'm sticking my pinky out. Right on the interior there. Just to act as a counterbalance. And there we go, guys. This clay is really good for me today. I feel like it's doing a lot of things that I want it to. And that's always music to my ears, right? Waiting for that bottom. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Right? This would be crazy. Like, all I need to do is just collar that in, make a neck, and I could have a really nice bottle shape. But we ain't about that life. We ain't about the nice, pretty forms. Even though sometimes, even though people want to see something, right? I feel like people always want to see those, like the really smooth objects and really, like, those sorts of forms. In my mind, right? Like, sometimes you gotta look away from the bandwagon, right? Sometimes you gotta, like set your mind in a position where, okay, well, I'm not gonna give the people what they want because there's something that's more important than what the people want, right? And I think, like, the material of clay, at least in my mind, I owe it more than just, like, appeasing some random people online. For me, it's like, it's given me so much, and so I think I have to respect it in some way. And I think part of respecting it is, like, having some level of resistance towards comfort, right? I think that's a really nice way to respect something. Is resistance of an impulse, right? Okay. Look at that, guys. Look at that interior. Looks freaking killer. Well, we're gonna go back to Skyrim here for a little bit. This is a cool part. This is a map where, kind of like, maybe it kind of looks like one of the first dungeons you go into, but it's a lot of this. They're called, like, the ancient Nords, right? The ancient Nords have, like, these crazy looking, like, temples that look very, like, Celtic inspired. Here's the aurora lights. It's really pretty. Sometimes in the game you just look up and then you just see these glorious lights, and then you're just kind of floored by the beauty of the game sometimes. I think when I was young I thought it was, like, really peaceful, but now, like, since I'm older, I don't think it's necessarily as peaceful. I think, like, when I play games now, I'd rather just, like, be playing games with my friends or play some sort of game where I'm interacting with folks. It's hard for me to... You know what? We're gonna do, like, some really wide ones here. They kind of look a little bit weird, huh? I'm not sure if we like it, but we're gonna keep it. You gotta have the weird ones sometimes. Maybe some glaze can really sit in there, or maybe a different little pot, or maybe some, like, trimmings or something can, like, be sticking out of these moments. But again, guys, here's the pot up close for you guys. That's number 2. Okay, I'm gonna set it down over here. And so this is a night sky. I've always had a gripe with the game because they don't ever have, like, night is never, like, truly dark. But that's something that's kind of cool about the game, is this game was sort of buggy, right? Like, when I mean buggy, I mean there's a lot of mistakes in the code of the game that sort of allowed for weird things to happen, and so it almost shipped like it was incomplete a little bit, right? But they released the like the mod tools, right? The tools that they used to make the game, I guess, to the public, and so the public ended up creating, like, a modded community, like modifying the game, and they changed all sorts of stuff. So now at night you, like, needed to have, like, a torch to walk around, or you could add, like, a food and hunger and thirst part to the game, right? Like, you had all these sort of interesting things that you could do in the game. Now they added new enemies and all sorts of stuff that was, like, really fun, right? I guess that sort of reminds me of something I was thinking about today, is, like, in ceramics, right? Imagine ceramics is swimming, right? Or ceramics is, like, dropping you in the ocean, right? And so some people, what they do is they figure out how to swim really well. They get really good at their swimming, right? I'm not really a guy who wants to get good at the swimming, right, in the ocean of clay, right? I want to learn how to breathe underwater, right? I want to like try to do it in a way that feels a little bit like impossible. And I don't just mean the forms I'm making, because they're definitely possible, but I mean like my goals for ceramics, right? Like I want to do it in a way where, okay, well, most people just think that, they do like swimming, you can't breathe underwater, so why even attempt it, right? And so what I think is like, no, I want to keep attempting it because maybe I can discover something. Like if I end up breathing underwater or not, right? That's not the point. The point is that I attempted to breathe under the water for an extended period of time, right? And see how far I can take that limit. And you might not be able to breathe underwater, but maybe you'll find a cool blue ringed octopus down there while you're trying to breathe, and that will change your life, right? And so, but you gotta really gaslight yourself into thinking that you're gonna be able to breathe underwater if you want to find those really special moments in ceramics, right? If not, then you're just sort of going through the motions of it, right? Which that's also fine, because if you're not feeling up for it, like ceramics for today, then you go through the motions. There's been videos that I've made where it's just a bad day and I'm not making good pots, or the video is just like not really the best. Well, okay, and I still have to make my video. I still have to, do what I gotta do, right? And so that's sort of the mindset that you have to have, or at least the mindset that I want to have, right? And I think that's going to lead me to places that I never thought was possible. And I got to prepare myself for when one day I have to leave the earth, right? That I'm not like too upset at myself with what I did on earth, right? Take our knuckle. I'm going pretty slow right on this edge here. Look at that. Great. That's pull number one. Collar that in. Go back down to the bottom there. Here we'll switch to ceiling cam or head cam. Go down to the bottom. Curl that up underneath. Dude, I'm telling you, my pulls have been getting insane recently, guys. My pulls are literally popping off. Get over here. Sweet. Alright, I can probably do another pull. I'm getting a little cocky, but sometimes when the boat is freaking cruising, you want to make sure you keep everything the same. But other times, if the boat's cruising, you want to rock the boat. So I want to just give it a little bit more stress. I want to see how far I can sort of take that moment. And I think that's good enough there. I don't want to get too thin on the top here, but I will collar this in. You know what? We gotta rock the boat. That's really narrow. Alright, so when we're doing something that's really narrow like this, we're going to want to get some of that water out of that base at the very beginning here. Oh shit. Alright, we need to embody calmness. I think this is that in the distance, right over by my arm here. That's White Run. It's kind of a cool spot. Is that? I actually can't tell. I think it is. Oh yeah, it is. And then there's the stone to the left of me here. Right of me here, I guess. But maybe that's your guys' left. But that stone right there, that's a conjuration stone where like if you use this, it's like a skill that you can use once per day, and you can reanimate one of like a dead person that you like either kill or I think an animal too. You can reanimate them and they can fight for you, right? And so it's a really cool. I know like all these areas. Like I think a lot of Skyrim people would know these things. You gotta remember, like when I first got into Skyrim, this thing like it blew my marbles, right? Like I saw the commercial for it and there was like a dragon and I got so freaking excited because before that I was just playing stuff like Halo and like just random games like Call of Duty Zombies and all sorts of stuff. And so when I finally had the ability to play a game that about dragons, and I really like dragons. We don't want to go too. I'm gonna leave it just like this. We're gonna have a nice small. We'll have a little bit of lean on here, and then what we'll do on the bottom is we'll do a flare in and a flare out sort of bottom on this one. All right, he's wanting to tilt. You see him wanting to fall, brother. Get back on that center, and we're actually gonna twist. And then push down ever so slightly, and that can kind of keep it in line there. There we go. Cool. Kind of get some cool parts, right? Like, I don't know if you can see, but right here. Oh man, there we go. Like right here, there's roots. I like coming out of the floor there because it's collapsing in on itself on that middle part. So it almost looks like something's growing out of the ground sometimes. I really like the way that those look. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Skyrim is just a really cool game. And the music, I hope that it's not too loud and you guys can still hear me. That's my biggest fear. I probably should have tested that before I did all this, but I kind of had faith. I was looking at the audio peaking, and it looked like it was okay. It's a little bit wide on this one, so we'll just take that in a little bit more. Take that in more there. And we'll take this one in out more. There we go. So I think this one looks sick. Look at that shit. So it's kind of like the opposite, right? Where I hope this doesn't tear. I think I gotta let's fold these in actually. Maybe that'll look cool as fuck actually. Yeah, why not? That looks sick. Alright guys, let's get the green. Look at that. God damn. Look at that. Okay. So now we're gonna get our little shoe on here. And why do I feel like I do have something in my pocket? It kind of felt a little bit weird. Well, I'm gonna just do one of these. Oh well, I got this. So you guys can sort of see me setting up here. I don't wanna take too much of this slack. I'm still working on a fix for being plugged in. I feel like I'm like a blow dryer or something that you plug into the wall right now. We'll have this one in the front because it's the most likely to fall. Chill out, head cam. I feel the tension. I feel the tension. I feel the tension. Okay, we got their second one here, and then the third one. I'm gonna hold. Look at that. Great. How do I get it? There we go. I literally have to do like a hair flip nod. And now, look at this. This looks sick. Alright guys, so here's the pottery videos. Wait, maybe I just... No, I think it looks cool now. Alright, that's fine. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Peace. What the heck?